today we will start lesson 19, the story of writing of English grammar. So, let's read. After listening to the story of the Great Pyramid, Asok collected some more information about the ancient Egyptian. He came to know about hieroglyphics and felt very excited. Then he started gathering information about the history of writing. He learned many things about it and wrote an article, The Story of Writing, for his school magazine. This is his article. Writing is perhaps the most wonderful and useful invention ever made by man. But we all are so familiar with it that we do not realize its importance. Suppose we get up one morning and find that we have forgotten the art of reading and writing, and suppose at the same time all the writing in the world disappears, what kind of world would we find ourselves in? We would not get our morning newspaper, we would not find any magazines, and will not be able to read any exciting stories. Our libraries too would have disappeared, and so we could not get any information we needed. Since writing itself has disappeared, we would find every office closed. Children would not be taught to read and write anymore, and there would be no schools, no colleges, and no universities. There would be no correspondence, no letter written, and so we would live in a world without post offices. We depend so much on writing that our travel too would suffer. In a few days, buses and trains would not run, ships would not sail, and aeroplanes would not fly. Machinery is very complicated, and our engineers cannot keep everything in their heads. They depend on engineering books and often refer to them to keep the machines in order. But where could the books be found after writing has disappeared? Not only our travel but also our commerce would come to a stop. Commerce in the modern world is carried on mainly with the help of checks, account books, and correspondence. In the absence of writing, not only correspondence but checkbooks and accounts too would disappear, and so national and international commerce would come to a stop. So we see that in the absence of writing, our civilization would not only come to a stop, but within another half a century, we would lose all the humanity has achieved in science and industry during the past 6,000 years. In about 50 years, we would find ourselves as uncivilized as the cavemen of the past, and we would have to learn the art of writing all over again. If everything in our civilization depends mainly on writing, its story must really be very exciting. From very early times, man found the need to communicate with his fellow men. He did this with the help of science. A story is told of the Scythians of those times. They wanted to send a message to the Persians telling them that they would attack and defeat them. But as they did not know the art of writing, they sent the Persian a bird, a mouse, a frog, and 5 arrows. These were meant to be the sign for what they wanted to communicate to the Persian. If they had written a letter, they would have said, "O Persian, can you fly like birds? Can you dig into the earth and hide yourselves like mice? Can you jump over water and wet lands like frogs? If you can't do any of these things, do not try to indulge in war with us. We shall attack you with our arrows and defeat you." Perhaps the Scythians were able to communicate all these ideas to the Persian in that way, but we now see that it was all very clumsy. It was not only clumsy but also inconvenient, for such a message cannot be preserved for long. For instance, the ancient Egyptians who wanted to keep a record of their kings would have found this method not only clumsy and inconvenient but also useless. They invented a kind of writing called hieroglyphics, which means sacred carving. The Egyptian writing is called sacred because it was mainly used in temples and tombs. Much of it was carved on stones or walls. Hieroglyphics were a kind of picture writing. They were at first picture of familiar objects such as the sun, the moon, the sky, the bird, and so on. Every picture was a sign for the object drawn and meant nothing more. Later they were meant not only to stand for the objects drawn but also to suggest the ideas these objects stand for. For instance, a picture of an arm could be used to represent not only that part of the human body but also strength. Sometimes the Egyptians combined pictures of 2 or 3 objects to represent a new idea. For instance, they had two symbols, one for the sky and another for the moon, and they combined the two symbols to make a new one for the night. In ancient times, such picture writing was used in many countries. Even today, it has not completely disappeared from the world. The Chinese, for instance, still have a kind of picture writing. In the beginning, the symbols they used were all pictures. These are called characters. Chinese has characters not only for every kind of object but also for every idea. Very often, the characters for 2 objects are combined to get a character for an idea or thought. For example, it has characters for hand and eye, and these are combined to get the character for look. In spite of all these complications, Chinese is a complete system of writing, but it is very difficult to learn because you will have to master almost as many characters as you have ideas. Since the number of characters runs to several thousands, it takes a long time to learn Chinese. Since Chinese has a kind of picture writing, its characters do not represent sounds but ideas. A Chinese from Canton may not be able to follow the speech of one from Peking, but if one of them writes out his speech, the other will be able to read it exactly as the figure 10 ये दिया हुआ है यहाँ, is read as 10 by an Englishman, thus by a Hindi. सॉरी, फिगर ये इस फिगर के लिए नहीं है, फिगर 10, यहाँ 10 की बात की गई है कि 10 को इंग्लिशमैन 10 कहते हैं और हिंदी में 10 कहते हैं. स्पीकर और पढ़ी by Telugu speaker. So the character of water may be read and pronounced differently by people speaking different forms of Chinese, but they all know that it is water they are talking about. Most countries in the world today do not use picture writing. They use the alphabet, which is a collection of letters. The letters are learned in a fixed order and every letter usually represents a sound of the language. So instead of drawing pictures of objects we talk about, in the system of writing we represent the sounds we use in our speech. Fortunately, since the sounds of any one language are not many, we need not have a large number of symbols. In most languages, the letters of the alphabet are never more than 50, but the number of words that we can make using these alphabets runs to several hundreds of thousands. The adoption of the alphabetic system of writing is a remarkable development, though this system is not very complicated, unlike picture writing. For many centuries, it did not spread widely. It was only after the printing press was invented that reading and writing became common, and today a large number of people in the world can read and write. Is there any fixed direction for writing? No. For instance, while most languages are written from left to right, Arabic and Urdu are written from right to left. Chinese is written vertically and hieroglyphics could be written in any direction from right to left or left to right, or even vertically. Very often, however, they were written from left to right. There is an interesting story about a servant who carried a letter and a basket of mangoes from his master to his master's daughter. The young lady got the basket and the letter, and she found 4 of the mangoes missing. Then she asked the servant why he had taken 4 mangoes from the basket. The servant, who did not know how to read or write, said, "This is wonderful. When I asked the master for the message for you, he told me that the letter would tell you everything. On my way to this village, I felt very hungry and wanted to eat some of the mangoes. I buried the letter deep in the earth to make sure that it did not see me eating them. After eating 4 mangoes, I dug the letter out and put it back in the basket. But the letter must have somehow seen me eating the mangoes, and it has now told you about it. This is something magical. If you think about it, There cannot be anything more magical than writing. The simple servant could realize its magic, but we who are so familiar with it do not realize it at all. Okay, so tomorrow I will explain this lesson.